Hello everyone, welcome to our live show. I'm your host Monica, and today I will introduce our monthly product, Canada temporary fence. Our company have many monthly products such as triangle bending fence, temporary fence, chain fence, high security fence, palisade fence, T-post, Y-post, and so on. Today I introduce the temporary fence standard is a Canada standard. So look at this small sample in our table. This is a small temporary fence panel. You look at this small sample. This is two different surface treatments in our Canada temporary fence. The red one surface treatment is PVC coated, and the silver one is hot dip galvanized. Look at this red one. You can see this is a 3 horizontal tube and 2 vertical tube in this panel. And the horizontal frame tube usually used 25 by 25 millimeters, and the thickness we can use the 1.0 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, even to 2 millimeter. And the inner horizontal tube, we usually use the 20 by 20 millimeter. And the thickness we can use the 1.0 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, even to 1.5 millimeter. And this vertical tube, it's usually used 25 by 25 millimeter, and the thickness can be 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, and 2 millimeter. So you can look at this are mesh panel in inner the temporary fence. Sorry. Look at this mesh panel. This mesh panel is or usually used where diameter is 3 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter, 5 millimeter, and 4.5 millimeter. And the mesh size, the opening size, we can use the 60 by 60 millimeter, 50 by 100 millimeter, 50 by 150 millimeter, and 75 by 150 millimeter, or 50 by 200 millimeter, and even to 100 to 200 millimeter. About our size, we can ODM and OEM. So if you want another size panel, you can contact us. And look at this clip. Look at this clip. This is the clip of this panel, and if you can see, this is 3 different tubes to use a clip. The 1 horizontal and 2 vertical tube. And how to install it. So if you want to use it, this is 2 panel, and put this in the 2 different temporary fence panel top. And put it in, so it's finished. It's very easy to installation it. And next, I will introduce the galvanized one, hot dip galvanized. Look at this panel. This panel surface treatment is hot dip galvanized. About the zinc coating, we have 3 types or even to 4 types of the zinc coating. The electric coating is the electric coating zinc coating is 8 to 15 gram square meter, and the common zinc coating is 40 to 60 gram square meter, and the little high zinc coating is more than 200 gram square meter. And we also can use the higher zinc coating is about 400 to 500 gram square meter. So look at this slide 1. You can see in this panel, or they also have 3 horizontal tube and 2 vertical tube in this, and this frame horizontal tube usually use the size is 25 by 25 millimeter, and the thickness can be 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, even to 2 millimeter. And this inner tube is smaller than the frame tube. It only used 20 by 20 millimeters. The thickness we can use the 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, even to 1.5 millimeter. And this 2 vertical tube is also same as the frame tube. It can use the 25 by 25 millimeter, and the thickness can be 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, even to 2 millimeter. So there are also a mesh panel in our temporary fence panel. This mesh panel usually uses where diameter is 3 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter, 4 millimeter, or 4.5 even to 5 millimeter. And this mesh size, opening size, we usually use the 60 by 60 millimeter, 50 by 150 millimeter, and 50 by 100 millimeter, and even to 75 by 100 millimeter, 75 by 150 millimeter. Even we can do 100 by 200 millimeter. So this panel is finished, introduced, and look at the base with the feet with the temporary fence. You can see this is 2 tube vertical in this feet. This tube size is about 20 by 20 millimeters. The thickness is 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter. And you can see this is a so small feet. If you want our finished temporary fence, this feet is will be bigger than this somehow. And this feet size we usually use the 50 by 70 millimeter or 70 by 100 millimeter. So if you want to use this feet I can introduce how to use it. Look this two panel. If you want to use it, put it in this tube and put another one in another tube. So it's finished. And we also have to use a clip to like this. So the panel installation is finished. It can make more stronger and stable. So so you look at this is our so small panel, and if you want this panel, we can make the length can be 2.4 meter, 2.8 meter, 3 meter, or 3.5 meter, and the height we also can make 1.8 meter, 2 meter, or 2.1 meter. So the Canada temporary fence is finished by introducing. So next I will introduce another standard temporary fence. It's Australia temporary fence. So let's go to watching our Australia temporary fence. Hello everyone, this is Monica from Gent Fence. Our company main product is triangle bending fence, temporary fence, chain fence, high security fence, T-post, Y-post, and so on. And just I introduce our temporary fence about Canada standard temporary fence. So next I will introduce another standard temporary fence. It's our Australia temporary fence. Look at this small sample. This is our small sample about the Australia temporary fence. You can see this is a mesh panel and 2 horizontal tube and 2 vertical tube in this panel. And the surface treatment is hot dip galvanized. We have 3 or 4 type of surface treatment about hot dip galvanized. The first one is electric zinc coating. The zinc coating is about 8 to 14 gram square meter, and the common zinc coating is 40 by 60 gram square meter, and the little high zinc coating is more than 200 gram square meter, and we also have a higher zinc coating. It's about 400 to 500 gram square meter. So look this panel. This is the horizontal frame tube. The horizontal frame tube we usually use the size is 32 millimeter, and the thickness we can make 1.2 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, and we also can use the 48 millimeter tube, and the thickness is 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, or even to 2 millimeter. And the horizontal tube is same as the frame tube. Use the 32 or 48 millimeter tube, and the thickness can be 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, even to 2 millimeter. So you can see this is a special design to our. You can look at this. This is a special design in our temporary fence. This we will flatten it in this and then welded the horizontal tube and the vertical tube, because it can easy to loading and unloading, and it can loading more fence panel in the container. So next, look at this mesh panel. This mesh panel, where diameter, we usually use the 3 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter, 4 millimeter, 4.5 millimeter, even to 5 millimeter. And the mesh size, the vertical mesh, we usually use the vertical size, we usually use the 50 by 100 millimeter. The vertical is 100. If you don't want the 50 by 100, we also have 50 by 150 millimeter, 75 by 150 millimeter, and even to use the 100 by 200 millimeters. And next, look at this small sample. This sample's height and length is our sample size, but it's the popular size in Australia market. Is the length is 200 to 2.1 meter by 2.4 meter. And look at this feet. We have two different feet. This one, the hole is vertical and horizontal. And this one is horizontal hole. And about this feet, we have many colors in this, such as orange, yellow, and we also have green, red, green. We can make more color in this fit if you want it. So about the package of the Australia temporary fence, we would to use a wood plate to package it. It will be very easy to loading and unloading. So you can see this is a finished Australia temporary fence. So if you received the panel, you don't have to installation the panel. You just have to installation this fit. It's very easy. So now I finished my introduce about our Australia temporary fence. And next I will introduce another standard temporary fence. It's our New Zealand temporary fence. Like this. Hello everyone. Just now I introduced our two different type of our temporary fence. Australia temporary fence and Canada temporary fence. So next I will introduce our New Zealand temporary fence. Look at this sample. This is different about our Australia temporary fence because this panel is a chain link fence panel. And look at this sample. These are also two horizontal tube and two vertical tube in this panel. This horizontal tube usually use the 32 millimeter or 38 millimeter, and the thickness we can make 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, even to 2 millimeter. And this vertical tube is also same as the horizontal tube. The size is 32 millimeter or 48 millimeter, and the thickness we can use the 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeter, 1.8 millimeter, and even to 2 millimeter. And It's also a special design in our vertical and horizontal tube. We have to flatten it to the we have to flatten the horizontal tube to weld it in this vertical tube because it can load more the panels in the container and easy to loading and unloading. So next, look this chain link fence panel. This chain link fence panel is another Manley product, and this chain link fence is used in this temporary fence because the New Zealand market is very popular. And the chain link fence panel wire diameter we usually use the 3 mm, 3.5 mm, 4 mm, 4.5 mm, even to 5 mm. And the mesh panels, the mesh size, the opening size, we usually use the 50 by 50 millimeters, 60 by 60 millimeter, 75 by 75 millimeter, even to 100 by 100 millimeter. So you can see this surface treatment is also hot dip galvanized. About the hot dip galvanized, we have 3 or even to 4 types of the zinc coating. The electric coating, zinc coating is 8 by 15 gram square meter, and the common zinc coating is 40 by 60 gram square meter, and the little high zinc coating is more than 200 gram square meter. And we also have a higher zinc coating. It's about 400 by 500 gram square meter. It's very stable, so its price is a little expensive. So look, this panel. This size is very small, and our common size is 2.1 meter by 2.4 meter. And we also can use another size. If you want this panel, you can contact us. And look, this fit. This fit is same as the Australia temporary fence. It have a horizontal or vertical hole in this fit. So the color is also can use the many color such as orange, yellow, green, red, and so on. We have many color about this fit. So today I introduce is finished. Just now I introduced our temporary fence. Our temporary fence 3 type of the sand. Australia, Canada, and or New Zealand. So this is Monica from Gent Fence. Our company main product is triangle bending fence, temporary fence, chain link fence, T-post, Y-post, and so on. So if you want our product, you can contact us, and we will send you an email. So bye bye.